Rosh Hashanah, פרק א', משנה ט', 9th משנה. משנה זו היא המשך למשניות ד' ט"ו. This is a continuation to the 4 to 6 משnas. והיא באה ללמד, comes to teach us, כיצד עדי החודש מותרים לחלל את השבת. It says to what aspect, until where are they allowed to mechal Shabbos? Okay, I understand they're allowed to walk. What else? Are allowed to do other things to mechal Shabbos? So let's see. מי שראה את החודש, somebody saw the new moon, את הלבנה בחידושה. So now he needs to go to Yerushalayim, but he's old, or he's crippled. So now what? If he's old or he's crippled.
He can't go.
או, ואינו יכול להלך, he cannot walk. לבית הדין להעיד, to the court to be a witness, מחמת חולשה, because he's old, he's weak, or מחלה, or he's sick, he's crippled. So what happens? Not a problem. מוליכים אותו על החמור, אף בשבת. You can take him on a donkey, also on Shabbat, doesn't have to walk. אפילו במיטה, and listen to that, even you can put him on a bed, and 4 guys are allowed to carry him, even though they didn't see it. אפילו העד חולה, וצריכים לשאתו במיטה, even if he's sick, and you need to carry him in a bed, והרי לגבי חולה הצמוד למיטה, אין אומרים חי עושה את עצמו, and if you remember, we don't say he's carrying himself, on such a case when it comes to laws of Shabbat, ואסור לשאתו בשבת, you're not allowed to carry a person on Shabbat, מכל מקום משום עדות החודש, but because it is so important for the testimony of the month, מותר לחלל את השבת ולשאתו לבית הדין להעיד. You're allowed to take 4 guys, and if the guy is a heavy guy, take 6 guys. Carry him. He's one of those 800 pounds, he cannot walk. Get 10 guys to carry him to Mechal Shabbos because he's the only one who saw it. Go, carry him now. ואם צודה להם, and if they're afraid on the way there's going to be enemies or something like that, שמתייראים שמא יש אורבים בדרך, that they're afraid maybe there's going to be enemies on the way, מלשון ואתה צודה את נפשי, and you're going to hunt my soul, that's the tzuda, hunters, in other words, enemies. ויש מפרשים, there are those who explains, לפי שצדוקים ובייתוסים, because we're going to learn later on, there was a whole fight about Rosh Chodesh. So the tzdokim and baitusim, these 2 cult members, היו אורבים לעדי החודש, they used to wait for the witnesses ומעכבים אותם, and they used to imprison them, not to let them go. Why? כדי להטעות את החכמים, in order so that the sages will make a mistake in the Rosh Chodesh. So then, לוקחים בידם מקלות, you're allowed to take in your hands sticks, כדי להגן על עצמם. ואם הייתה דרך רחוקה, and if it was a far away, the way was far, לבית הדין, to court, לוקחים בידם מזונות, take food, take water, whatever you need. ונושאים ממהם את המזונות בשבת. And you have to carry, and they could carry the food on Shabbat. But remember, there was one caveat to all the thing. You have to be within a distance of like 22 hours from Yerushalayim of walk. Because if it's more, you're not going to make it on time anyway. Because think about it. You need to get it in before Mincha the next day. Okay. You need to get your testimony in. So if you know you're not going to get it before that time, don't start walking. Yeah. So you have to you're allowed to carry the food until Mincha the next day, not more. שעל מהלך לילה ויום, because or to walk the entire night and the next day, מחללים את השבת ויוצאים לעדות החודש. For that case, you're going to מחלל Shabbat, you're going to break Shabbat, and you have to go as a witness for the new moon. אם העדים אינם רחוקים ממקום בית הדין, אלא מהלך לילה ויום, as long as they're far away, like 22 hours, like we said, כלומר, which means, שיוכלו להגיע למקום בית הדין בשבת, that they are able to get to the court in ירושלים on Shabbos, בעוד יום, when it's still daylight, באופן שתהה שהות לבית הדין לקדש על פיהם. The court needs to have time to interrogate them and to sanctify the moon according to the testimony. the 30th day, מותר להם לחלל את השבת, then they are allowed to break Shabbat, וללך להעיד לפני בית הדין, and to go to become witnesses in front of the court. אבל אם העדים היו רחוקים יותר מדרך של הלילה ויום, but if they were further away than that distance, ולא יגיע לבית דין אלא במוצאי שבת, they will only come to בית דין on the next day, אין מחללים את השבת. Then they don't break Shabbat, שהרי אין עדותם מועילה כלל לקדש את החודש על פי ראייתם, because they're not going to help the testimony anyway. שאם לא הספיקו בית דין להכריז על קידוש החודש עד שחשכה, because if until dark they did not sanctify the moon, even if you came then it's too late. They're not going to. אין החודש מתקדש אלא ביום ה-31. They're going to say, it's not tomorrow, it's going to be the day after tomorrow.
You can do it at night.
That's right. It has to be during the day. ודבר זה אינו תלוי ביריית הלבנה, and this is not dependent on seeing of the moon. שאין חדש יותר 30 יום, because that's, you know for sure it's going to be the next day. I don't need you for that. If it's not today, it's the next day. ומכאן שחודש אינו מתקדש ביום ה-30, מתקדש במילא ביום ה-31. So if I'm not going to sanctify a month on the 30th day, I know for sure the 31st day is going to be the day. ומניין שעדי החודש מחללים את השבת. It says, and how do we know such a big rule? You know, you're telling me that עדי חודש מחלל שבת, like you said, crazy idea. שנאמר, because the verse, אלה מועדי השם אשר תקראו אותם במועדם. It says, these are the holidays of God, the times of God, that you have to read them at their time. במועדם, at their time. ודרשו במועדם, and they learned, the sages, the word at their times, אפילו בשבת, even though it's on Shabbat. כלומר, הזהיר הכתוב שלא יעבור מן הנועד שזמן קריאתם מקרא קודש, היינו קידוש החודש על ידי בית דין. It says, even if you have to break Shabbat, you have to read them in מועדם. It's a big chiddush to learn for that, but that's the way Moshe came down from the mountain, that's the way Moshe explained.